Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. We're back for an update on the crypto market, which could come back down to break through $103,500 because right now we might be looking at a regular flat. So that means we are looking at an A, B, and a C, with the C having broken above the top of the A. This indicates that in this particular case, the C wave has moved past the high point established by the A wave, which is a notable feature. As a result, this could potentially be a regular flat pattern, which would then be to come and make a significant drop, since that would in fact actually be the direct continuation of this very first downward move that we have right here in order to fully complete this entire three-wave pattern. As you can see, this is an important step in the overall movement. So that's the direction, let's say, for example, in approximately 1 or 2 hours from now. And then we also have the potential possibility of a bigger move, meaning in this context that we could see an even larger correction bigger than this. So here, that would be an A, then the B. We would then have something that doesn't break the bottom, with another break of the top here internally. But the direction wouldn't change. It would still be about coming back to break the bottom, because if this scenario happens, it would essentially mean that we're in a range, so a range. In other words, the price is not trending strongly in one direction, but rather moving sideways within a defined area, as some would say. I'm talking about a continuation of the trend, so that's for Bitcoin. Now let's move on. I told you in the last video that I was looking for something a bit annoying, so that's been confirmed. So, did we see a break of the top there? We didn't break that top, so why not? Here, it looks like it's ranging. Why not come back and break the top here, so we could have a bigger ABC, or rather like this. ABC, and then come back, break the bottom, come back, break the $3,400 level. That's for the 1 hour chart. We would have this scenario on a larger time frame, so potentially this could already be a completed correction. So it's also possible that we might come back and break the top. So break through the $4,900 level right away. That is entirely possible. But given the correction that is taking place here, well, you really have to be careful with this drop. Internally, even if the bigger structure is still on the 4 hour or daily chart. But you have to be careful about one last small drop here towards the $3,400 level. It looks a bit sketchy, but we can see here quite clearly that we have a potential running flat pattern developing on the daily chart. So we had this movement previously, and we're sure that this, at least for now, is still part of the ongoing uptrend. That's interesting because it means we're still in this bullish trend and the market continues to show strength overall. Why? Because the previous low hasn't been broken and we potentially have a continuation structure. So here we could potentially have a running flat. So a running flat, it's a continuation structure, which essentially means that the overall movement is an uptrend. And what we're seeing here is a correction that occurs within that ongoing trend. So in this particular case, we have this correction phase, which can be broken down into an A, a B, and a C wave. So it's a correction that actually moves in the same direction as the prevailing trend. So as long as the C wave here does not break below the important level of 0.5 cents, it remains or is potentially still a bullish scenario. So coming back, breaking through $3.40 is a possible scenario because in this trend, clearly we have a pretty nice running flat. So what will happen in the future? Afterwards, it depends on the fundamentals, etc. Of course, it depends on the crypto. I don't have a lot of data. If the move starts from here, we can't really analyze much, but on the daily chart, this is my analysis. Except if it breaks below 0.5 cents, we'll forget about the running flat, and so we'll forget about breaking the top. But that's it, something to keep in mind. Keep it in mind and we'll see how it turns out. Next, let's take a look at NIR. We said there was a run, a regular one that was confirmed, which broke the bottom. Now that all of that has been confirmed, here I have an impulse, a correction here at B. I'm waiting quite a bit, so I'm waiting for the break of the bottom here. So I'm waiting for the break of the $2 level to start looking for buy setups for a push. So will it be the daily push or will it just be an internal push to correct this big drop before continuing to fall? So we'll see about that later. For now, on the 1 hour chart, I'm waiting for a small drop to confirm a regular C. quite simply. So keep an eye on this in the coming days. Please leave a comment, let me know a crypto if you'd like me to analyze it, and I wish you a very good day. Bye.